Hello, everybody. This is Pete from PA Labs. And, well, this is the second to final, I think, video for the war game. There might be two more. I don't know. We'll see. It's kind of an exciting video for me. I've got quite a bit done. I think what I'll do initially is show you what I've gotten done, and then I'll back up and tell you how I got here. So I'm going to launch the game player and host it from the executable, and then I will join from the source code. So we'll fire this up and get this launched. Okay, so this is the allies. I'm going to move them. Oh, I guess we can move them off to this side of the screen. And I want to show you that the player is the allies, and down here in the lower left is the current player, game player, okay? We have up here the phase of the game. And let's see. I'm going to go ahead and kind of slide that half off the screen. And then we're going to run the game again, this time from source. And we will join games and connect. And I'm going to go ahead and get rid of that. And then we can launch. And so now we have, we, as in this screen, are the Nazis. And it's the Allies player turn. And the turn phase is move. So let's come back to the, oh goodness, this one. Yes. Okay, so we can move the Allied units and move to there. And if you notice in the, whoops, wrong click. In the background over here on the Nazi screen, the unit basically has kept up. We'll go ahead and move this guy and move him to here. And then we can jump back here and he's moved as well. So now the allies are done with their turn. They'll hit next. And then we can go to the Nazi screen. And the Nazis are now the next player. It's going to be just like the Avalon Hill games. One side moves, the other side moves. Then we go to combat. Then we do resupply. Then we do move again. So the Nazis, well, sadly, I don't actually have any Nazi units, I don't believe, on the screen. So he's going to be done with his turn. And if you notice, we're now in combat. We have moved and moved, and now we're in combat. And if I come back over here, we're both in combat. That's cool. Well, there is no combat at the moment. There's nothing to be done with combat. While we're sitting here, since it's the Allies' turn, we can actually come over here and say, I want this unit, this city, to build tanks, okay? So he has 1,000 points. So when the production cycle runs, which currently is not hooked up, but it will then build an appropriate number of whatever, I think it's $50 a tank or something. So you'll get, 20 units down here or something to that effect. But it's not actually hooked up yet. Basically, what I've gotten working is the whole we're done, now we're in resupply, and now you would actually be able to select the cities, and this tab should flip to resupply. So, but what I have gotten working very nicely is the very smooth transition between the two screens of you ending your various turn phases, and now it's the allies' turn again to move his unit, and it crashed. Isn't that cool? Oh well, I'll go check that out. But that was what I wanted to show you, is that the turns are flipping, the who's the current person and what's the current phase is all doing quite well. And so then we back into how is it being done, and that took quite a large rewrite, sadly, to the server communication pieces, the client and server. So what I've done is on the player side, the players, when they need to get something, they can call various procedures that, like if they want to check and see if a unit is at row and column, or they want to, um, I don't know, they click a city, they click whatever on the screen, and we need to ping the server to come back. Then what happens is he's now calling. Um, he sends his message pretty much just like he always has, and then he does a new thread. He creates a new thread and uh, does a wait thread on that new thread, the receive thread. Okay, now the receive thread here is actually doing all of the work. This is the same, this where if you notice we're in the player client. This is the same receive thread that the player client server have always used. And so I've flushed out this whole response server object thing. And so now we can ask for current player, current phase, current turn. We want to move a unit, so I need to let everybody know about a moved unit. We can get the unit index, like when you click a cell on the grid, it goes and looks up to see if there's a unit there and sends that response back. And then cycle is the processing of the game phase turn cycle. It's the move to combat to resupply, back to move, flipping to turn two, and whatnot. So those three fields all come back together as one, and it loops there. This is the same one that we've goes all the way back to the original client server video that I did long ago. And then on the server side of things, I split most of the data coming back in this. It's basically all just passing strings, okay? So oftentimes the string is a JSON file, which we reconstitute, but then I've also gone ahead and said, okay, even within that, I can break it up. Like this is this is the turn phase cycle guy. And so he's passing the response type of cycle. So then he's actually giving current player a pipe, current phase, and then current turn, all as one message inside the JSON response that comes back. So then it's parsed on the other side to grab all three values to go do the updates. One of the other things that I've added into the system is a few timers. And I didn't necessarily point it out when I had the screens up like I had planned to. I forgot. Is I now have the game timer itself hooked up. So it's going to be tracking how long you've been playing the game. So I have two timers, and we have the game timer every second. It does an incrementation of the clock. And then every 5 seconds, which is probably way too far apart, it's doing a polling to try to get messages from the server to see what he needs, what's happened that he needs to update. So the server doesn't reach out to the clients. The clients reach out to the server, and if there's a message waiting to be sent, it's queued and sent automatically, which kind of is a nice way. It's not like somebody else is reaching into your computer. You reach out to bring it back. Uh, so in the definition of the timers, you add a timer, a window timer, to the game, and then you give it how many milliseconds in between its firing. And then down here in your game loop, this is kind of a video inside of a video. You have a event timer that is part of the event group of select case guys here, and so you can say, hey, if the event timer fired is my game timer, then what I want you to do is add 1 to our timer value on the game object. So when it saves and you reload the game, you pick up with the same time clock of how long you've played this particular game. And then it sets the field on the screen to hours, minutes, and seconds, okay, separated by a colon. And that's this calculate time function that takes in this seconds value and does the math to convert it to that. So the other timer I had is the event timer, which does the same thing as those other ones. He sends a message that says, this is a message check. Don't respond unless you got something. And then it throws out a thread to the received thread and says, okay, I'm going to give you 150. That might need to be probably what the two pieces of this that I believe are the problem is the delay in getting that response. I think this possibly timed out. And then the other catch is that up here, I have that set to running every 5 seconds, and I think that probably ought to go down to about 2. And then that should be able to keep up with all the messages. So those were the big changes. I have when the game starts up, when the map actually shows up, he comes out here and gets the current messages, and he's sending all these general server messages. That's a function up here that says, you just give me the message, I'll send it and do the whole wait timer thing and get the answer back. And then when he gets that answer back, let's see, where is it? Oh, yes, hold on. We have to jump here. So we go to here. So that sends the message over. The response that comes back comes into here. And then he's calling a function back over here on the game player. Okay. So he's calling this message function with the answer. And then he updates the screen where he needs to update the screen. So if we got a current turn, then he goes in and he updates the WarGame module itself to say, hey, we're on this message now. And then he updates the screen. If it's the new player, he updates the new current player. If it's phase, well, he has to update the phase system. And the big phase that's up in cute color in the upper right corner is actually an image. So he goes and plants the image up here. So yeah, we got all of those loaded. So if you ever want to change the colors on that, all you have to do is change what the image looks like and you'll have that no problem. I think maybe also, I think I need to probably come into this and say, it's always, in my opinion, good to zero out these guys. Okay, so that right there clears that image. So you're not writing on top of an image. I'm not quite sure how the code handles something like that, but this is how I normally do it. And I, for whatever reason, didn't put that in originally. So, and then if it's a move unit, he actually does the update for moving the unit. Then he rebuilds the unit map, and then he builds the actual map, and then the map's repainted to the screen, and the unit's been moved. So that's how all of that is all linked together. And Yeah, it's pretty cool. The game's coming along. It's actually starting to kind of play like a game, just like you would think it ought to play. And I got kind of excited about this earlier because you know, uh, I did. Yeah, I've gotten a lot of pieces in place. We have on the game player itself. Let's see if I can. I don't know if I can get to those. The when the phase changes, that's where we got to do it. When the phase changes to recycle, which is actually going to be what triggered back here, yeah. When it goes to game cycle resupply, what we're going to need to do is turn the resupply panel on and put that in. As you can't touch something on the screen and have it change. You make your decisions on the screen, and that screen now actually has all of your cities in a combo at the top, so you can select your city, see what's been produced, and then take supply and go supply various units. So that's how that's going to work. I might, we'll see. It's still early. It's only 5 o'clock in my time zone. So I may see how far I can get going on that so that when I release the code later tonight, probably in 2 or 3 hours, I'll release the code and it'll be out there for you guys to lay your hands on and see how stuff's starting to work and how I'm hooking all of this up. So that pretty much concludes this video, and I want to thank you all very much for watching.